Hello, welcome to what I hope is going to be the final official writing vlog. I just finished, literally just now, finished chapter 21, but I thought that since I haven't, or I don't think I haven't updated any vlog whatsoever because I haven't been doing a lot of writing, I will give an update on what has been happening in my life and what's been happening in terms of writing, because that's what this is all about. So I think last week on, what day was that? Saturday, I started writing again. I was previously writing for my fan fiction and some one-shots, so I was writing but just not for this book because I wasn't inspired and I didn't want to force it because forcing it just means writer's block. And I remember finishing chapter 20 and I was really tired after writing chapter 20, so that was that. Chapter 19 is what tired me out because it was so long, and then writing chapter 20, I had written part of it earlier and then I just lost touch with it, but I came back to it and I've been writing bits and pieces of it over the past month and it's been pretty good. The progress was a lot slower than I wanted it to be. However, it got to a point where I was just overthinking it too much. So I was just no, I'm just gonna write and word vomit on the page and then just see where that takes me. And it took me to today, which is the 17th of March, and I have finally finished chapter 20. It was a relatively short chapter, actually, considering the words that I've been writing lately. It came up to 6,719, and the past chapters that I've been writing have been 8,000, 10,000, so 6,000 is pretty good. I thought it was going to be a lot shorter when I was writing it, but I had to add a little bit of an extra scene, and I introduced a new character that had never been in this story ever. I added a new person into it because I was oh, okay, I kind of need a kind of segue person to kind of help deal with this stuff, and I did that. And he's pretty cool, I have nothing against this guy, but yeah, he did not exist prior to this chapter and prior to outlining this, but he's here now. I don't know, it's just every time I finish a chapter, I look at how much words I've written and then look at my total word count. I'm just I can't believe a year ago or a couple of years ago, this was just a blank document. And now, in this document, my Realm of Magic document, I have 114,301 words, revised words. Mind-blowing. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, so the reason why I think I've been not writing a lot is because I started uni about a month ago. It's nearly been a month since I started, and that's been a little bit of a thing that's been pushing me away from writing, unfortunately, because it's my final year of university and I just really want to do well because it is my final year and I want to give it my all. But also with that, I've just been working a lot more and I've really been trying to spend time with my friends and some family that have been visiting, that have come back home. And I'm trying to live my life, basically, and I'm trying to find that healthy work-life balance, work-life-school balance. I'm happy with the progress I've made. The actual chapter that I just finished writing, I don't know if I'm really happy with it because, as I said, it was a lot of word vomit, especially towards the end, and I kind of have to tie back some foreshadowing that I had done previously, and I know that that's going to be a lot of like work writing logistically, because it's like I gotta make everything connect so that whatever happens in these next chapters, which are super crucial to the plot and to my characters, I have to make sure that it all kind of matches, or else it kind of doesn't hit the spot. And like as a reader, like it won't be as satisfying and it won't be as enjoyable. But yeah, that's what's happening. I'm just like tired. Really, that's been my only emotion for the past couple of days. It's just been tired, and I think you can hear it in my voice. But yeah, I am going to now take a break. Another thing that I want to mention is that I also was working on chapter 24 earlier this week, and it was when I started writing chapter 24 that I got inspiration to write chapter 20. So me not writing chronologically is sometimes a good thing, because I managed to find some inspiration. Chapter 24 is a lot darker. It's a bit of a intense type of scene chapter, and I'm delving into parts of my personality and parts of my writing that I didn't know I could really hit. But yeah, it's definitely a new experience, and I'm kind of enjoying myself doing it. But yeah, chapter 21 has absolutely nothing for it. I haven't done anything for it. I've literally just done a very brief outline. That's all the update for me. Let's get this book going. But yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm writing a book, and it's really hard, just in case you didn't know. Hello. Oh my goodness, it has been a very long time since I have filmed anything for this vlog. And I just finished writing a chapter. Actually, I finished writing it yesterday, and I'm doing the edits now, but I figured I would film. But the final word count for this chapter will be around 5.5k. At the moment, it's at 5,459. But I need to do some edits for it, and I still haven't chosen a final chapter title, and that may change some of the plot, just a teensy bit, not too much, because I'm thinking of swapping two chapter titles with each other, because I feel like what I wrote better fits it, you know. So the main reason why I just haven't filmed and updated this vlog is I haven't been writing. What I wrote for this chapter, I wrote over the course of yesterday, the day before, and like 3 months ago. Today's date is the 1st of July, and my deadline, quote unquote, to myself for finishing the book was like sometime in June, because that was when I first started rewriting A Realm of Magic. So I definitely missed that, because I didn't write at all during June until the last like 2 days. Sorry, I just ate dinner, so I'm very gassy. And so yeah, I just haven't written anything, and I've also been in a bit of a reading slump as well, and usually when I can't read, I can't write, but now I'm reading again, so I can write again. So yeah, after I finished my semester for autumn, I like chilled in terms of I started working a little bit more, and then working started to take up all of my time, but Sydney got put into lockdown for about 2 weeks, and so for the first couple of days of lockdown, I'm like day 4 or 5 into lockdown, and I've recentered myself in terms of writing, so now I'm writing a little bit more consistently, and I was able to kind of pick up where I left off. My writing is a bit disjointed, and I do ramble quite a bit in this chapter, but it is more of a filler, so I'm just letting it be. I can fix it in my second draft. For now, I just really want to finish the book and get it done, because that's kind of the most important thing to me at this moment in time. Yeah, the next chapter, chapter 22, is in the works, because I'm shifting around chapter titles and what's happening in those chapter titles, I do have like 1K-ish words for chapter 22, but I'm gonna have to change a lot of it because I've changed the outline a little bit to better fit the flow of what happened in the chapter that I just wrote. And chapter 23 has a pretty much a steady concrete outline, and I have like a whole conversation planned out that like needs to happen, and it's a really important plot point, so I need to get that down really well because chapter 23 onwards is just very bang 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 climax of the story and then coming down from that climax or dealing with the after effects of that. So yeah, otherwise chapter 21 is just what it is. I also wanted to like point out, it's really funny, my hair color has just changed drastically from my first writing vlog, and I think it's really funny because I have reddish orange hair right now. And then in my last video, I only had the front pieces of my hair. I mean, my last clip, only the front pieces of my hair were red, and now it's like almost all of it. Anyway, but that just shows how much time has passed. Update time. It is August, you can hear my family in the background. It is August 2nd, and I have just finished and uploaded chapter 22. This was actually relatively a quick write. It took me about a month, but like relatively like 2 to 3 sittings to actually fully complete it. And I enjoyed myself. I think I did pretty good with this chapter. I had a little bit of trouble at the beginning just getting it started, but I kind of jumped back and forth between the middle and the end and trying to outline it and trying to figure out like what was like how I would set it out. But I got into it, and then I changed my outline completely for the chapter, and then after I finished that outline and started writing, it was a lot better. So it just had to do with the outline. It just wasn't working. And the total words it came up to was 5,089 words, which is pretty good, staying within my kind of average chapter like word count. Literally ever since like chapter 15, my chapters have been like 5,000 and above, so I'm happy to just stay around that 5,000 range, especially because I know the next couple of chapters are going to be very dialogue heavy. I know the next chapter for sure is going to be dialogue heavy. There's a lot of info dumping I might have to do to further the plot, unfortunately, but that always increases my word count by a lot. And then I off the top of my head, I think for the rest of my chapters it would be a lot of exposition and action because we're obviously heading towards the end of the book, which is very exciting. So with that word count in mind, our current revised word count / current word count for my book is 124,879. I'm still in the groove of writing, so I want to keep that ball rolling. I don't want to fall into another writer's block and have to stop writing for like 5 months. But we're doing good. I like left this chapter on a cliffhanger, and it's gonna be one of those like big cliffhangers. So yeah, I'm very excited. My main character is back kicking ass. She was alone for a bit. Had to get her to do some plot development to get the plot going, but she needed to be alone for that, unfortunately. But I think was still, at least I hope so. I hope she was still interesting enough to be the main focus, because I feel like my side characters are really interesting, and I don't want to have her not shine as a main character, because I feel like some fantasy characters, their side characters tend to outshine them because the main character is always boring, so I want to avoid that with mine. Okay, that's all for me. I will see you guys in my next update. Bye. Hello and welcome to an update. I finished another chapter. I don't know what exactly my last update was, but I just finished chapter 23. I did the final edits today. I don't know if I talked about my process with the writing of this one, but this had a really fleshed out outline because it was it was very heavy on dialogue, and I had a lot of that dialogue already written out. But when I was writing it out, I changed a lot of the backstory / the outline that came from the dialogue. So that was interesting, and it took a different turn, but I like the way it turned out. I'm actually really proud of it. I'm like looking over it again now, and just like, I think it's a good chapter. I have a really big plot twist in it as well, which is very, at least I hope it's surprising. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just really excited. So I just finished chapter 23. It came down to a total of 4,308 words. Brings my kind of revised draft 1 to 129,187, which is a lot. I have chapter 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and then epilogue. So yeah, it's very exciting. There's a lot of stuff happening, but I have to really go back into all of my notes from the book and like make sure that everything ties up with each other so that I have continuity throughout the book and everything is cohesive. But I think it's good. I'm really excited about it, and I'm like really fully immersed and really loving the story as well, which is most important. So see you guys literally in the next clip probably, because it'll just be another update like this. Hi, I literally look so disgusting right now because I have been just writing for like the past 12 hours. Not even 12 hours. That's a lie. I was writing all day yesterday, and then I woke up today and then just went straight into writing. So consecutively I've been writing for quite a while, and I've neglected looking after myself as a normal human being because I was so immersed into it. Also, I have a different hairstyle color now because I just don't know how to keep the same hair color for more than 2 months. So yeah, the last time I checked up on this entire story was in August. It was a while ago because it's actually the beginning of October now. Last night I officially finished writing chapter 24 of my book, and today, October 4th, I finished editing it. Let's talk about the process first. So I had chapter 24 partially written for a very long time. I actually started writing it when I was probably on chapter 19. So I had about 5,000 words written and pretty much set in, and I was really happy with it. But then I got to the ending of it, and I was trying to connect the middle and the end with what I had originally written, and I was having so much trouble with it. And then yesterday I had been studying for almost the entire day, and I thought, I'm gonna give it a try one more time, see where it takes me. If not, I'm gonna have to scrap something in this chapter because there's a reason why it's not working. And so I literally just put on some headphones and I just started blasting Sleeping at Last and just listen to almost half their discography, something like that, on Spotify. I will I'll put a little screenshot of some of the albums I listened to that helped me write this scene in this chapter. And it's funny because usually for my writing I will listen to a lot more upbeat stuff, especially for the types of scenes that I'm writing. The scenes that I'm writing will reflect the type of music that I listen to, and what I'm currently writing for this chapter was quite intense, so I thought I would be listening to intense music, but Sleeping at Last and their type of music was actually quite calming, and I felt like that was the vibe that I needed because it was a lot heavier content and I really had to kind of dig a little bit deeper into myself as a writer and explore some darker topics to help better reflect in the writing so that you as a reader could feel it as well. And I feel like I was able to do it. So it's a little bit more darker and grittier and a little bit more gruesome, because yeah, like this is definitely this is a young adult novel, but I would definitely say it's for a little bit of on the older side. So I would say like 15 to 16 would be a typical thing, just because I feel like when I was younger I read some really dark stuff, and I feel like you should definitely be prepared for going into books like this. The final word count came down to 7,538. And then in my final, I guess, quote unquote, revised word count, or like draft 1 word count, is 136,725, which is a lot. And that is chapter 24. Chapter 28 is the only one that has bare minimum, bare outline, just because it's the last chapter. So I really wanted to give myself a lot of freedom with that and not have anything very set in, because the ending I have for this book in my mind is open-ended, just because I have planned for this book to have 3 books. Like, it is a 3-book series, like it's a trilogy. So the end is not the end, quote unquote. So yeah, I'm really excited to continue working on it. It has been like a month and a half since I like last wrote for this, so I'm very excited to keep writing. I don't know if this means that if me writing chapter 24 means I'm gonna jump straight into chapter 25, but as of right now, like, I am reinvigorated with the idea of this story and these characters, and I miss writing them so much. I think the other day I was writing in my head again, and I talk about this a lot, me writing in my head, and I was just like, I miss these characters. Like, that is why I started writing yesterday, because I was just like, I have this scene in my head, it doesn't fit anything to do with the first story, but it is an idea that I can possibly use in the future, but I want to see where they are at this moment in time and then go from there. So that's me. It is morning for me. I'm doing this update not on time because I finished writing yesterday, and I kind of just woke up, and I'm currently in a lecture right now, but I thought it would be good to film this update because I'm gonna forget. It's the morning of the 7th of October. It's my cousin's birthday. I need to wish my stomach. I need to wish her happy birthday. I finished a chapter yesterday. It was partially written. I had 2,000 words written for it, and then yesterday I decided to finish it because I was in the mood for writing, and I did so, and the final word count came down to 7,146 words. I have to do one more edit of it to confirm the word count, but I probably won't go up any more than that. Yeah, like, there's a lot happening in my life right now, yet I still somehow decided that choosing to write my book was the better option than actually dealing with my life. So yeah, this chapter was really interesting for me to write because I had written a bulk of it a long time ago, and I had to cut out this entire scene that I thought was always going to be in it because it just didn't fit the plot anymore. So I did that, and then it just flowed so much nicer. I really like how it turned out in the end. But the most important part of it ended up happening, which is unfortunately a character death. But I did that. Oh, my lecture just stopped working. That's fine. So yeah, a character death happened. Love that. I definitely cried, but that's not important. Depending on my editing, my revised word count after chapter 25 will be 143,871. I'm probably not going to be writing for a while because I have just so many assessments going on right now. But yeah, I'm so close to the end, and then revising process will begin next year because I want to give myself a break from writing this and then we'll start on the sequel. Okay, I'm gonna go have breakfast now and charge my laptop and start my day officially because I have been in bed for the past hour and a half. Hi, so surprisingly, it's literally the next day. You can hear my bathroom pipes in the background. It's very loud and annoying, so my apologies for that. However, I have a minor update. So I did say yesterday that I was going to edit some of chapter 25, which is the most recent chapter that I finished. I didn't end up doing it. I wasn't feeling well yesterday, so I decided to take a day off from it. And I had just finished it as well, so it was still too fresh in my mind to be really editing it like properly. I feel like when you've just written it, it's too fresh for you to edit. You need to take your couple of days off. That's why I usually have like a week or like at least 2-3 days in between my writing and editing and posting and whatever. But this particular chapter I really wanted to get right because it's a chapter that has been written for a very long time, and I changed quite a bit of it in terms of like the lead up. So I really wanted to make sure that it still packed in an emotional punch because it's one of my very dialogue heavy but also like character development, character arc, and pain heavy types of chapters, like pain as in for the reader, because I hope to be packing an emotional punch when doing so, when writing. So yeah, hopefully I was able to do that. And the edits came down to 544 words, so I added another 500 words to it, which is actually a lot more than I expected. I did think I would be adding a couple hundred words, but I didn't realize it'd be like 500. But that's generally not surprising because I do tend to overwrite, which means that my actual current revised word count is 144,415. So I did that today, and then somehow I still have the energy. I think because it was just editing, I still have the energy, and I have been writing chapter 26. I started writing and editing chapter 26. As I mentioned in my last clip, I had about 4,700 to 900 words written. Like 200 of those words were just outline, so it doesn't really count. So I had roughly about 4.7k written for this already, and I have just been writing and adding exposition and changing the chapter to fit obviously the storyline that it currently has. At the moment I'm somewhere between 5.5k, so I've written about like 1,000-ish words, so not a lot, but I am like I'm on page 10 of 15, but all of the core stuff is in the chapter, so I don't think I'll be adding scenes. It'll just be expanding on dialogue that kind of already exists to make it flow better. And this is definitely a chapter that just needs to happen in order for the story to progress, so it may be a bit info dumpy. I'm trying my best not to have that, and I'm trying to make sure that everything still connects while being entertaining and cohesive and all of that fun stuff. But we're getting there. We are getting there. I'm actually really excited for this, but I am getting a little bit tired, so I will see how far I can go with finishing this. I'm not pushing myself too much to like finish this one because I've already finished a chapter this week. Yeah, I haven't really touched any other chapters other than that. The only thing that's kind of changed majorly is just a timeline adjustment, because I think I've mentioned this in a past writing vlog. I have a kind of calendar set in my head about when each of these things take place. It's not significant necessarily to the plot, but it's just significant to me so that I can envision that, like, okay, that's where they are at this time, which means it will lead up to this, and then because I have specific chapters in the future for the future books that require specific events. So like Christmas is something that like is gonna be a part of it, and like my main character's birthday is at the beginning of the year, so it's just after Christmas. So like I need those to I need to know the lead up prior to that so that I can address it when it comes back in later books. So yeah, that's all from me. Hello, this is an update coming really randomly actually. So today is the 19th of October. I've already edited and written 2 chapters this month, and I've already spoken about that, but this is my like 3rd update for the first time ever. But let's get into it. So I started editing chapter 26 almost immediately after I finished doing chapter 25, because chapter 26 had a lot of it written already. But I think I might have technically finished it, like plot-wise. Everything that I want to happen in this chapter has happened. Like my outline is complete for this chapter. It's just a matter of making sure it all flows together and that it will carry on into the next chapters, so that it's all evenly like spread out and everything. And it's come down to 6,584. I'm not gonna say a final word count of the entire book thus far because it's not finished. I do want to add probably some other things, or I just need to write a little bit more maybe later. But yeah, that's what it is. I'm like really surprised I was able to do that. I just on a whim decided to be like, oh, I can just check how this chapter is going, because I've been really busy and I haven't been feeling good the past couple of days, and I figured that this would be just easy productive thing for me to do. And I went through it. I was like 10 pages into it already, and there was only like 5 more pages left. So I did it, and I was like, wow, that was pretty easy. And I just finished it now, and it's like 9:30 in the evening. I might edit some more, like I'll go through this chapter again today, or I might just read over what I have for chapter 27. And as of right now, chapter 27 is at 4,235 words. This one I know I'm gonna have to change a lot. This is the final chapter that I have that is fully-ish written, and then chapter 28, as I've mentioned a couple times, is just completely blank. So chapter 27 is the last one where I'll have some form of guidance. So yeah, that's my update. Yeah, I'm definitely finishing this book before the end of the year, which is really exciting. Okay, I will see you guys when I see you. Bye. Hello, what's up? It is the 21st of October, and I have sort of finished up chapter 26. I did mention, I think, the last update that I had finished writing it and I just wanted to edit it. I finally got around to editing it last night because I couldn't sleep, and during that edit I added, I think, about 400-ish words. So the final chapter came down to 7,020 words, and I'm really happy with it. There was a lot of stuff that I, like, grammatically that I just needed to fix, because that chapter was kind of written stop and start, so it didn't flow as nicely, so I fixed that. That was my biggest issue with it, but then I reread it this morning before I started doing other stuff, and it read really nicely in my opinion. So yeah, I'm happy with it now. As of right now, current word count is 151,435, so I'm well above the average for young adult fantasy novels, and I still have like 2 chapters left, but that's okay. Like, that is a-okay. I like where it's going regardless. I'm gonna just keep working on it when I can. I'm in week, I don't know what week I'm in. I think I'm in week 10 or week 11 of my semester. I'm technically meant to be very busy, but I keep putting off my assessments to write. So who knows, maybe I'll write another chapter for fun. So I'll see you guys when we start chapter 27. Hi, hello. It has literally been, I want to say like 2, maybe like bordering 3 months. I think my last update was in like early November, and it's a whole new year. It is literally 2022 and I'm here with another update. I finished writing chapter 27 on New Year's Eve because one of my New Year's goals of 2021 was to finish writing this book, and I was doing really good. I was pretty much well on track to doing so, but I just got really overwhelmed and busy with life towards the end of 2021. So that was like my last semester of university. I was in the process of making some real adult life decisions, and I ended up moving out of my family, like my parents' home, and I've moved into a new place. And that just put like a pause on all writing that I was doing at the time. And I wasn't able to pick it up until I was kind of settled into my new place and I was relaxing for the holiday season. And I didn't have time to breathe until New Year's Eve, pretty much. I finished writing chapter 27. It was already halfway done, so I didn't really have to do that much. I kind of just had to refamiliarize myself with the plot, basically, because it had been so long since I had been writing. And I was just like remembering how much I love this book and how much I love writing it. And I did that and finished it, and I think the total word count was a lot shorter than compared to my other chapters, because that was the intention. Like, I wanted it to be a shorter chapter, and I want the final chapter as well to be relatively short, or on the shorter side in comparison to the previous chapters, because I don't want it to go on unnecessarily long. So the final chapter 27 came down to 6,146 words. It's probably not the best like final draft of this particular chapter, but I just wanted it to be written. And because I'm technically on draft 1 of this book, having a chapter written is, in my opinion, the most important. So I'm happy I hit all of the plot points that I needed to, and I actually shifted my outline a little bit so that I could accommodate for the shorter chapter length and then have those plot points be put into the final chapter. And I feel like that outline and that flow works a lot better, so I'm actually quite happy with that. Which brings my total revised word count, I say revised, but it's more like total draft 1 word count, to, I think my original kind of idea or like aim for this book was 100 to 110k, give or take 5,000 words. And then I ended up just going well and above that. So now my book is at 157,000 words, 581 for draft 1. And I still have to write chapter 28. I'm about like a quarter away through chapter 28, and then I have the epilogue. So I'm on my last chapter now, which is very, very exciting. The process for chapter 27 was really interesting because I had this chapter pretty much already written for the longest time, but half of it was in the previous chapter, and then I moved it later, and then I had to tidy up plot points because it just wasn't working with what I had already written based off of like the draft 0 that I had written like a while ago. And I just had to like kind of puzzle piece everything together, and that's why I had to go back and reread so far back. I think I went all the way back to chapter 19. I think I did okay with it, and yeah, I'm excited to just like see where the final chapter takes me, because I have been trying to write this book for so long and the ending is so close, and it is literally January 5th, 2022, and I'm so close to finishing my book. Like, I could, within this week, if I really concentrate and really dedicate myself to my book for the next 5 to 7 days, I could finish my book. And that is crazy to me. But I usually go into most of my chapters with dialogue in my head, and I don't have that this time, and I'm kind of going into this kind of winging it, and I think that's a good way to go in my opinion, for the final chapter, because I have an idea of how I want it to end, but there's no middle, and there's no like super big plot points that I need to hit because I've already hit them. This is all just a matter of building up the finale so that I can set up for the next book. And yeah, I'm just like super excited. I love my main character, she's doing great. I love my supporting main characters, they're also doing great. There's a lot of angst that just happened, which isn't great for the character that it is relating to, but I think I did it well, where you see why it needed to happen, and how that is now going to affect the future of my main character and all of the people surrounding the situation and everything. So yeah, this is amazing. I'm so excited. This will be the final vlog for book 1, and it's going to be a very long one, so I'm hoping that my laptop will be able to handle editing all of it, because it is going to be a lot. That's all from me. I just spoke for 10 minutes. Oh my goodness. Okay, goodbye.
Okay, so it is Sunday the 4th of August, 8 p.m. 2024. I think the last time I made an... What?
I'm leaving.
You don't have to.
Hi guys, my name's Victoria. Wait, I'm hijacking your moment.
I actually can't keep that one in. That last part, I can't keep that in.
But guys, fine, whatever. She'll edit it out.
What?
You'll edit it out.
Oh, okay.
Right, I'll let you have your moment.
Thank you.
Wow, that's so aggressive. Hi, handsome.
I think the last time I did like an actual update was, I want to say 2023, early 2023. I have not been writing for a very long time, and have not been writing A Realm of Magic specifically for a very long time. But about 2 weeks ago, I didn't film an update for this. Should have though. 2 weeks ago, I finished writing chapter 28, which was supposedly meant to be the last chapter of the book. I had finished basically writing all of the content that I wanted to put in it, all of the dialogue and stuff, but I didn't finish writing the exposition in terms of like basically just the movements between all of the lines of dialogue. I don't, you know what exposition is. Anyway, I went back into it today and I was like very determined. I was like, okay, I need to finish this. And so the original chapter, I think where I had last left it off, was 3,000 words, like 3,300. And now its finished word count is 5,718, which brings my like overall word count to like 164,000 words, which is a lot. I'll have to do like final calculations a bit later. So I finished chapter 28 and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the end of my book. All I have to do now is just like write the epilogue, which I have also been doing today. But I'm doing my epilogue now, and I'm writing and writing and writing. I have like a kind of summary of like all the plot points I want to hit in this epilogue to set it up for obviously the next book. And I'm realizing it doesn't feel so much like an epilogue, more just like an even more final chapter, which sets us up, you know, for the next book. So I don't know if it will be called epilogue or if it will be called chapter 29. I don't like 29 chapters, so we'll kind of see, I guess, in the editing process how stuff sits. But I'll keep it called epilogue right now because it's going to be very short. It is only at the moment 1,300 words. I have maybe like 2 more paragraphs to write, possibly even less. My complete chapters, like they're all around minimum the 4K line, so this is like an incredibly short chapter. Yeah, even my first chapter is 2,000 words, so if this hits around 2000, I'll call it like a chapter, but if it is still below that, then maybe it'll be the epilogue. I don't know, but I just thought I would just document that first and chat to it a little bit. But yeah, it's actually taken a bit of a different like path than I had originally thought it would. I had a very like set vision of like where, like the silhouette basically of how things would end, and then I was writing and then I was like, actually that makes zero sense. I need to cut this character completely out of these scenes, and then it's had a flow and effect to the epilogue. So the consequences of my actions, I'm writing it now, but I'm gonna finish writing and then I'll check back in once I've officially finished, because I think I'll be finishing literally my first novel today. Kind of crazy. Okay, that actually took so much quicker than I thought it would. I think it's done. I might have to like reread what I've written. I'm gonna do that now. This is a lot. Okay, the thing with this and the trajectory basically of my main character and the way that the story is going, I have to start writing about like kind of heavy hitting topics, which, you know, consequence of my own actions for putting my character through this, but it is just like so much more confronting as someone who's older, who's gone through these things already, and who is now like in a much better place. So like reading how this is now going to affect a character that I care so much about kind of hurts me. So like currently going through that at the moment, and like this chapter specifically is quite hard. Well, it's also the final chapter, so like there's a lot of emotions currently rushing through me. I might be done. I'm just rereading it. Slay. Okay, I've had to move locations because Victoria fell asleep on the couch outside, so I'm in my room now, which also goes to like a testament to like how much time has passed. Like I've literally moved out and I now like live with my friend. I'm no longer living at my old place, but I officially finished my first novel. Like, ta-da! I just did a final word count on my like master doc, which has like every single chapter like as its full finished edit, like as of right now obviously, and I am 164,872 words for my first novel. Kind of crazy. What do I do now? I'm a little bit lost for words. Like it's not really like set in, you know, like that it's done, because it's like I already have so many things I want to change and so many things like I want to add and get rid of and build on, so it doesn't obviously feel finished, and it probably will not feel finished for a very long time. But like draft 0, or I guess draft 1 is done. Yeah, the final chapter ended up being, I'm probably gonna call it a chapter. It doesn't really feel like an epilogue to me. It's 1,573 words. I kind of leave it on a cliffhanger, not really, but it's definitely a setup for a second book. Like, yeah, I'm happy with how it ends.
may start reaching out to my friends for some really like some reading, perhaps, in case they would like to read it. I don't know, it's a bit scary, but I think like it needs people now to read it. Like it's like I cannot keep just being the only one who looks at it. So yeah, that's my update. There's literally nothing else that I can say or add to this. Like it's like my book is finished. My book is finished. So I'm basically like going through my old phone trying to find clips of me writing over the past, I guess, year or two, like from 2023, to see if I did any writing, but there's just so many videos on my phone, like I cannot. So I'm actually like going back onto my YouTube channel, which is the entire point of why I decided to document this, to kind of see my journey. And like it's kind of making me emotional. Like this was published 4 years ago in 2020, and I'm talking about how I haven't even hit 50k yet, and like I'm literally a child in this. Like I think I was 2020, I would have been 19, or like had just turned 19, so I'm 23 now, so like crazy. And I just talked about finishing my final exams for my second year of uni for first semester, and it's just like a lot of time has passed since I've been writing this book, and now it's finished, and I've hit so many milestones over the years. And my hair is green in this and it's red now, so that's also a marker. But I'm gonna keep rewatching this, hopefully find where I left off in terms of filming, and put it all together.